Okay, welcome to our Getting Ready to Work series from Region 4 Pre-ETS counselors. This is part 5, job interviews. We are preparing a job-ready, career-bound workforce for Arkansas employers. Welcome. Our objectives today will be you're going to learn the proper etiquette when engaging in a job interview. You'll also answer job interviews questions completely, accurately, and to your complete advantage. And you'll determine ways to prepare for the job interview process. Why do you do a job interview? You're going to learn what's the reasoning for this. And here is our Arkansas framework, CTE frameworks. Teachers, you can use this for your lesson plans. Okay, first thing I want to tell you is nothing good can come out of bringing imaginary friend to a job interview. Just trust me on that. And this is just a little thing I have. It's a GIF. I thought it was funny. Do you really want to work for two gals like that? Okay. Why do we have to interview for jobs? Well, why do we do? Well, it gives you the opportunity to meet your future employer. Are you really interested in doing this job? And gives you opportunity to talk about your strengths, your education, skills, work history, gives you practice for maybe the next interview. And you're going to try to convince the employer, no matter what, that you're right for the job. Now, this is one thing I want to tell you. Personal branding is managing your name and your reputation. Even if you don't own a business, you are selling yourself. Now, you're going on a date, chances are your blind date has Googled your name or creeped you on Facebook. As a father, I have creeped potential boyfriends for my daughter on Facebook, and I have given her no answers a lot. So you go to a job interview, there's odds are they've already looked at your Facebook and Googled you. Okay, this is interview tips. Please enjoy.
What's going on, fam? And welcome to another edition of the AO. And I'm here with my good friend Kimberly, and she is a recruiter for 20 years, and she's going to help us, including yourself, land that dream job that you want to get. Let's go. Yo, what's up, girl? How you doing? Look at this AO. Wow, I'm so sorry. This is nice. Hold on a minute, Kim. Hello? Oh, what it do back? Hey. Yeah. Hey, let me call you right back. I'm with Miss Kimberly here. Get on my interview. Yeah, I love you too. Yeah, I love you too. Bye, baby. Bye. Sorry about that, Kimberly.
Okay.
That's my baby.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the interview?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure. So we're going to start with our first question.
So as I'm traveling around the country, every teenager, and I really can't say everyone, but the majority of teens are asking me, hey, okay, so I have my resume, but how do I prepare? What do I need to do to prepare for the interview? So I did some research and did some digging, and I found the lady who's going to help us. What's up, Kimberly? Welcome to the AO. Kimberly, how long have you been in the recruiting business?
I've been in the business probably for about 20 years. I actually started my career in recruiting back in 1997.
Listen, I graduated in 2002. She does not look like her age. I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm like, what? This is amazing. But, this is good because, listen, y'all, she's going to really help us and give us some steps on how you need to prepare. Because check this out. When you come to your first interview, you will sit down with someone like her. Your very first interview, whatever job, will be someone like her. And so she's going to help us out. So, Kimberly, let's go to the whiteboard. Let's go.
So research. So
Okay.
we start off with talking a little bit about branding.
What does branding mean, though? When I hear branding, I know what it means, but I don't know if Billy Joe Bob watching knows what branding means. So Chick-fil-A, what is their brand? Like, what would you say their brand is?
When I think about Chick-fil-A, I think about quality service. Whenever you're at Chick-fil-A as the organization, they'll always say, when they take your order or whatever they're doing for you, my pleasure.
So, all right, so when they go to the website, they are identifying what's the brand.
Correct.
What the company is known for. So we got a brand. Number 2, what would you say?
I would say number 2 is learning about the company. And typically most websites has an about us
Okay.
on their website someplace where it talks about the organization. Most time the about us, it talks about the history of the organization, like when the company started, who started the company, if the company was acquired by another company, all those things. That's typically what the about us is. So you get to learn a little bit about the history, how they started, and those things.
Branding, 1, about us, history, number 2. Number 3, you would say?
Number 3, I would say probably you want to ask a question about the organization. So I'm going to take that one down. So when I think about questions, this is an opportunity for you to learn a little bit about maybe a specific person in the organization, someone in leadership or that leads the company itself, whether it's the CEO, or learn a little bit more about what the company does, like what is their specific product, who do they sell to, those type things. So those are the type of things that you want to dig in on and learn how that's going to affect you doing your job.
In preparing, you also want to just not research, but you also want to bring a portfolio.
Yes.
So like when I hear portfolio, I think something else, but I think you're talking about something different though for a teenager or a college student. What do you mean by bring a portfolio?
When I think about bringing a portfolio, I just think about bringing things like your resume or whatever your work includes. So most people at this level, they're probably not going to have a lot of work they've built up. So at least bring copies of your resume or cover letter to share with other people in the room in case you're interviewing with a number of people. But also that portfolio should include something for you to take down notes, because it's important that you're actually taking down information that you can follow up on, to make follow-up questions, those type things. So that is what I mean by a portfolio, so that it can show that you're engaged in the interview process.
What are some key things that they need to be preparing for, practicing at home for the interview? Non-verbal communication.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
All right, so I think when you walk into the interview, the first thing that you should do is shake someone's hand.
Okay.
Just to greet them, for sure. I think that's important. Also, sometimes people look at the type of handshake. A lot of times people say the stronger your handshake is, the more secure you are as a person. It shows a sign of confidence, that you're not nervous or anything like that. So, nonverbal communication, and we've already talked a little bit and spoke a little bit about eye contact.
Okay.
But just make sure that you're continuing to do that, because you could be like in the room with a number of people, so that you're making contact with everyone in the room. So that is some of the nonverbal communication, and shaking and nodding of the head as you go through, and to show that you agree or you disagree. That's more of your nonverbal communication, but just different signs to show that you're engaged in the process opposed to disinterested in what's going on.
Practicing hello, ma'am, hello, sir, no slang. What up, yo? What it be? What's good? No, none of that. So Kimberly, we're saying no slang, but let's just be real. The manager there may be using some slang. Do you recommend, since they're doing it, a student does it too? since the manager's doing it?
No, I think you always should present your professional self. That's important. That regardless of what they are doing, because they're already in the job. You haven't gotten the job yet.
That's right.
It's important that you stay your professional self and stay polished throughout the interviewing process.
Yeah, because you can never go wrong being too polished.
Yes.
But you can go wrong being under polished.
Right.
So we got research. We have get a portfolio with your resume. And when we say resume, y'all, I want to suggest 2 copies. Extra 2 copies for the resume? Bring extra 2, or you say just 1?
I say an extra 2 to. I say anywhere between 2 and 5 copies.
2 and 5 copies.
A lot of companies do panel interviews right now, and sometimes you can have 4 or 5 people in the room with you.
Should they arrive early to the interview, or should they be there just right on time? Like, what do you recommend? I have like, my suggestion is always arrive 15 minutes early, because right on time to me in an interview is you're late.
Right.
As an interviewer, and you interview hundreds of people throughout the year, what do you recommend? What do you think is appropriate?
I think anything within 10 to 15 minutes early is good enough. It's acceptable for an organization, because I think that's enough time that's showing that you are definitely on time.
So we have a lot of great stuff here that Kimberly went through. And so what I want to do is I want to practice with Kimberly. Side note, I'm not dressed for an interview. All right? This is just a practice run. We're going to show you how to dress, baby. Keep it loud. Let's go. Hey, Kimberly, how are you, ma'am?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Anthony O'Neill.
Good to meet you, Anthony.
Good to meet you,
We're
ma'am.
going to go this way.
This way? Okay,
Yes.
cool. No problem. Let me get that for you, Miss Kimberly.
Oh, thank you so
No
much.
problem.
Thanks.
Miss Kimberly, again, thank you so much for having me. I'm telling you, I'm so excited because it's been my dream to work here. So hopefully I can join the team and let's go. I'm ready.
Well, it's good to have you here, Anthony. I'm going to get started with our first question of the day. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Sounds good.
Well, thank you so much, Kimberly. You know, your information today was amazing. You rock. Give me some love. I'm telling y'all, man, this was amazing. So listen, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, okay? I want you to hit that subscribe button. Then right next to it, you already know, hit that ding, 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 the bell. Because I want you to get a notification every single week when I upload something.
Oh, hello. Hello. Wait a minute. What? Dude Perfect broke up with Joanna Morrissey? Oh man. Really? Man, I thought they were a good couple. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Really? Do you really need this phone all the time? No, do not take your phone to a job interview. Never take your phone to a job interview. Just, Travis, I know we're all praying and hoping that the day is going to come where Taylor Swift's going to dump Travis Kelce, but I promise you, after your job interview, you might find out that information. You don't need to bring your phone waiting on it to a job interview. Keep your phone in your car somewhere. For the job interview, you don't need your phone during a job interview. Don't bring it. Don't have it. I know you think you're addicted to it, but you don't need to bring it to a job interview. Any job interview. Put it away. What you need is a notebook and a pen to write down notes. Write down notes what the interviewer is telling you. You might even have questions on your notebook that you can ask the interviewer. They want to see that. They don't want to see this. They don't want to see this ring. They don't want to see you picking it up. They don't want you to see looking at your phone. You concentrate on them. Okay, before the interview, research the company. Go to the website and look about us. See what the company stands for. What do they look for in employees? What kind of service do they provide? Verify the exact time, date, and location of the interview. And when did you show up? 15 minutes before the interview. Have your paperwork ready. Remember, we said 5 resumes. That's good. References, letters, recommendation, and your pen and paper. Review commonly asked questions. We're going to talk about that later. There are questions that I'll guarantee you they will ask you during the interview, and you better be ready for them. I have a short list of questions you ask the interviewer. They ask you questions, you need to have questions to ask them. And make sure you got good clothing, grooming, you smell good. Smell good and look good. You know, we'll talk a little bit about this before we go here. Now, job interviews are like first dates. Good impressions count. Awkwardness can occur, and you never know the outcome. Start of the interview. This is the most important thing. Introduce yourself to the receptionist, secretary. You may be doing a job interview in a fast food place. Make sure you present your best self to that person over the counter. It might not be your boss, but that person might go to the boss and say, "We really don't need this guy." So present yourself in the best way possible to everybody. Be polite. And read everything you can in the lobby or anywhere about the business. When the interviewer arrives, ready to interview you, you stand up, you look them straight in the eyes. You look them straight in the eyes, eye contact. Look them straight in the eyes like you're going to spit on them. Don't look down. Look at them. And smile. And then you give them a firm handshake. And then you introduce yourself. Be so good at it that they can't ignore you. Okay. I want to tell you something about what we're getting ready to talk into about. This is called nonverbal communication. How you present yourself is 90% of the interview. How you are perceived determines how you're going to get the job. It's not how much skill you have, it's how they perceive you. Are you professional? Are you polite? Are you confident? They can see that. I've had a student one time that went to a job interview. The only thing she told me was one thing is she went to the job interview, her mind went blank. There was nothing. So what did she do? She said, "Mr. Laster, all I could remember was this word. And that's the only thing that went in my mind. I remembered the word and I used it. And guess what? I got the job." So we're going to talk about this word. Nonverbal communication. This is what it's all about. This is how people look at you and see you and perceive you. This is how you get the job. And this is the word. The word is share. S-H-A-R-E. Share. Remember that word. Share. Share. What does S stand for? Sit up straight. Don't lean back. Don't hunch over. Sit up straight. Show you're confident. What does H stand for? Have a good attitude. Make sure everything's all right with you. Have a good attitude. Don't frown. Don't moan. Have a good attitude. Sit up straight. Smile. Have a good attitude. Be excited. A stands for activate your thinking. Make sure you wait 5 seconds before you answer a question. Don't just blurt out an answer. Make sure you think about the answer before you say it. You know, You might say the wrong thing because it's the first thing that comes in your mind. Wait 5 seconds before you answer it. Think about it before you answer. Activate that thinking. Or relax. Don't get nervous. Relax. You probably will go into this job interview and you might not get the job. It's not unusual to go through 25 job interviews before you get a job. But you're just practicing to get that job interview correct. Each job interview is an opportunity. Don't worry about if you don't get the job. You might not, but then again, you might. Eye contact. Look them in the eye. Don't look down. Look them straight in the eye. That shows you're confident and you know where you're going. And of course, this is from the University of Oklahoma, the worst football team in the world. During the interview, there's do's and there are do nots. Do have good posture and eye contact. We talked about how important that eye contact and posture is. Nonverbal communication. Stay positive and excited. Have a good attitude. Do not smoke before an interview. And be aware if you have a problem with people in your family that smoke. I come from a family that smoked like freight trains. And I went to school every day smelling like cigarette smoke. But I did not know I smelled like cigarette smoke. Everybody else knew I smelled like cigarette smoke because both my parents smoked. Make sure your clothes are washed. You stay away from that cigarette smoke. Put on some fresh clothes. Go out there to the job interview because people can smell cigarette smoke and most people do not like that smell. Do not chew gum during the interview. Do not curse or use slang during the interview. Make sure you use your best English. And do never touch your face or hair during the interview. Keep your hands away from your face and do not curl your hair. I don't have that problem curling my hair, by the way. And do not fidget. Do not fidget. Do not cross legs, cross arms. When you cross your arms or cross your legs, that interviewer or person perceives that you're not telling the truth. Just remember that. Don't have anything crossed during a job interview. Be careful. Okay, like I said, it's not unusual to not get hired after the first 24 interviews. After 25th, you might be good enough to get hired right off the bat. You're going to be good at these job interviews. It may just take one. It may just take two. But it's not unusual. It takes more than that. Don't feel bad. Okay. Here are some questions that they may ask you. And I'm going to if you want to, you can read these. Take a picture of them. I don't care. But these are, I guarantee you, are questions they're going to ask you. Tell me about yourself. What do you see yourself doing 5 years from now? 10 years from now, what do you see yourself doing? How well do you work with people, or do you prefer working alone or in teams? What is your greatest strength and what is your greatest weakness? What would your last supervisor say about your work performance? Why should I hire you? What is your educational career goal? How do you react under pressure? What are your expectations of us, your future employer? What do you feel like is your greatest accomplishment? Why do you want to work here with us? Give me an example of a problem you had to solve and how you solved it. What prompted your decision to apply for this position? Why do you want to work? Why did you apply even? Why did you leave your last job? And what are you looking for in this job or in this career? What are you looking for in this position? We talked about social media. Be careful. Make sure you do not have any curse words or anything on Facebook that can backfire on you because they will be looking at it. Answering interviewing questions. Relate answers to your skills, abilities, and your current position if you have one, your current job. If you have a job already, answer back how you do your job. Think about the hard questions before answering them. Like I said before, wait 5 seconds before you answer the hard questions. And it's all right to ask them could you explain that question again? No problem in that. They won't have any problem in that. If you don't understand a question, like I said, ask for clarification. Be honest, but don't focus all your stuff on your weaknesses or negative information like being fired or criminal history. You will need to tell them about your criminal history because they can look it up. But don't focus on it. And don't focus on the stuff you can't do. Focus on the stuff you can do. Keep answers to the point. Make sure you answer everything in complete sentence. Don't just go with yes or no. Ask questions at the end of the interview, but don't try not to ask at this point about your salary or benefits, vacation or sick leave. Don't ask about that. Okay. Secret of acing a job interview is to stop believing in luck. You got to create it for yourself. We see 3 people over here. Which person right here do you perceive as maybe not being truthful? Is it number 1, number 2, number 3? I'll let you think about that yourself. Interesting. Examples what to ask the interviewer. Well, these are questions you ask that interviewer. What are you looking for in a candidate for this job? What would my day be like? Who would be my direct boss, supervisor? What is the next step in this interview process? How long should it take? Do I need to have to do another interview? What's the next step? Can you describe your training program? How long is it going to take me to get trained to do this job? Could you describe any kind of advancements I can do in your company? What can I do to advance in your company? They love you asking that question. And what learning opportunities like training, education, professional development conferences are there? Do you provide me with ServSafe food handling, OSHA? What training do you can provide for me to be a better worker? We're not going to go into Steve Jobs. At the end of the interview, if you're hired on the spot, remember this. You have a right to think about if you really want to work at this place. You might have done the interview and you say, I want you to do the interview the best you can, but afterwards you might think, I don't know about working here at all. I want you to think about that. Do you really want to work there? If the employer says they will contact you, you can go ahead and ask them how long should that be. Make sure the employer has all your updated contact information, your current phone number, your current address, your current mailing address. Make sure you have all that information correct. Make sure you have your zip code correct, your area code, your phone number, your contact phone number. Make sure that's all correct. If they can't contact you, they will not hire you. And then you thank the interviewer and end it with a handshake. Here's the Better Man Project. There's no such thing as being completely ready. You're never going to feel like you have everything all figured out, and that's okay. You just get to a place where it's just a little more exciting than afraid. That's when you go for it. That's when you go all in. To hell with playing it safe. Don't play it safe. Go for it. Following up. Send at right after the interview, write a letter thanking that interviewer. You can send that letter, and this is what you can say: Dear Mr. or Mrs. Brahms Boss, I'm writing this letter to know that what a pleasure it was to meet with you last Monday and interview for the job of burger flipper. I'm most impressed with your company's devotion to quality. This position is perfect for me because I believe in quality. I'm excited by the prospect of working in Brahms with you and hope you consider me strongly for this position. Sincerely, Byron. Okay. Write that letter, send it right away. Or you can call the interviewer if you hadn't heard anything in a week. If you hadn't heard anything from that interview in a week, you say, hello, this is Byron. Hello, boss. This is Byron. I am calling to let you know I enjoyed interviewing with you and I'm very interested in working for you. Can you tell me the status of my application? Think about this. You might not have that job, but the guy they hired didn't work out. You send them a follow-up letter thanking them for their interview. Guess who's second in line? You are. They know you want to work there. Whenever you are asked to do a job, you tell them, certainly I can, then get busy and try to figure out how to do it. Now, if we were here in my class, you'd get in pairs and you would interview each other. See how that goes. Practice the interview. Practice eye contact. Practice nonverbal communication. Practice waiting 5 seconds before you answer something. Okay, this is my acronym, FEAR. Forget everything and run or face everything and rise. The choice is yours. Then this is from your, thank you. This is from your Region 4 Pre-ETS counselor, Byron Laster. I thank you for your patience and hope to hear from you soon. Good luck in that job interview.